Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a truly beautiful fable known as the magical mango tree. It's this classic, heartwarming story centered around a young boy named Arjun, a glowing tree of sunshine, and a really profound lesson about the real-world impact of our actions. And while on the surface it might just seem like a simple story about magic, we're actually going to explore what it teaches us about the powerful, very real dynamics of human nature. So let's kick things off with a central question to kind of frame everything we're about to see. Can a pure heart create magic? I want you to keep this question in the back of your mind as we walk through this fable, because what's set up here is a masterful study in contrast. Specifically, we're looking at the enduring power of kindness versus the destructive nature of greed. All right, part one, the boy named Arjun and a life of poverty and kindness. Our story begins with Arjun and his loving mother. They lived in this peaceful little village in a small cottage and were actually quite poor. But, and this is a huge but, the immediate caveat to that poverty is that their hearts were completely full of kindness and hope. Literally, every single day, Arjun walked deep into the forest to collect firewood. He worked incredibly hard to help his mother, and most importantly, he never complained about it. Not once. It paints this really clear picture of a young man whose moral compass is already perfectly aligned, long before any magic is ever even introduced into the story. Moving on to part two, a magical encounter. A rainy night changes everything. Picture this. It's a cold, rainy evening, and as Arjun is heading home from the forest, he spots an old man shivering beneath a tree. The man looks weak, hungry, and just entirely exhausted by the elements. And without skipping a beat, Arjun shares his food and helps the old man find shelter. It's this exact moment of immediate selflessness that triggers the magic. The old man's eyes sparkled with gratitude, and he thanked the child softly for what was just a gesture of pure, unconditional charity. The old man then reaches into his bag and hands Arjun 3 glowing mango seeds. His mysterious instruction to the boy was super simple. Plant these seeds with a pure heart. And right after whispering this, before Arjun could even process what was happening or ask a single question, the old man mysteriously disappears into the rainy night. Wild, right? Which brings us to part 3, the tree of sunshine, a miraculous morning. That very night, taking the old man's words to heart, Arjun carefully plants the magical seeds right beside his little cottage. He waters them gently, and as he does, he makes a wish. But he doesn't wish for wealth or power. He simply wishes for a better future for his mother. Now, the payoff happens incredibly fast. First, he plants them with hope. Second, he waters them gently. And third, bam! He wakes up the very next morning to find that those tiny seeds have undergone an overnight transformation into a gigantic mango tree. Its branches are already stretching way up high into the sky. And this miraculous tree was absolutely stunning. It bore hundreds of golden mangoes, it glowed with a magical golden light, to the point where it literally looked like a tree made of sunshine. And beyond just the amazing visuals, its sweet fragrance filled the entire village. It acted like a beacon, attracting travelers from far away who all wanted to taste this magic. Because of this daily abundance of fresh golden fruit, Arjun and his mother suddenly had enough food, clothes, and really everything they could ever need. A total game changer. But of course, there's a twist. Part 4. Greed and consequences, and the neighbor's plot. Because while Arjun and his mother's lives became happier than ever before, not everyone was thrilled. A very greedy neighbor had been quietly watching this magical tree every single day. Notice the perfect contrast in their worldviews here. It's fascinating. On one side, we have Arjun's generous philosophy. He sells some fruit, sure, but he shares many with others so everyone has enough. He treats the magic as a community resource. On the flip side, the neighbor's mindset is entirely possessive. He wants the golden mangoes all for himself. He doesn't see a blessing to be shared, he sees a commodity to be hoarded. And that hoarding mentality quickly escalates to outright theft. Under the cover of darkness, the neighbor secretly sneaks into Arjun's garden. He carefully fills a huge sack to the brim with stolen mangoes. He even hurries home, laughing, completely convinced he's pulled off the ultimate heist. But at midnight, the magic shifts. He opens his sack, expecting all this glowing golden fruit, and stops dead in his tracks. One by one, the mangoes have turned into ordinary, heavy stones. He's just left staring in absolute shock at a sack full of useless rocks. Realizing his terrible mistake, the neighbor is just overcome with shame. But to his credit, he doesn't hide. The very next morning, he goes directly to Arjun and offers a sincere apology. He tells him, "I'm sorry. Greed made me forget what is right." It is a moment of complete vulnerability and real accountability. Which brings us to our final section, the roots of kindness, forgiveness and celebration. Arjun is now faced with a massive choice about how to handle the very man who tried to steal from him. And here is where we see the absolute, undeniable power of forgiveness. Arjun doesn't yell, he doesn't banish the neighbor, he just smiles kindly, forgives the man, and actually shares some of the golden mangos with him anyway. And the direct result of this radical grace? That evening, the magical tree glowed brighter than it ever had before. Its golden light spread across the entire village, prompting everyone to celebrate together in happiness and peace. It perfectly nails the core moral of our story. Kindness grows just like a tree. The more you share it, the more happiness it gives to others. This fable teaches us that a kind heart doesn't just receive magical rewards, it actually multiplies them when that kindness is extended, especially to those who might not seem to deserve it. So, what does this all mean for us? Well, the golden tree of sunshine is a really beautiful metaphor for the lasting impact of our everyday actions. We might not have glowing mango seeds in our pockets, but we do have countless opportunities to share what we have. So I'll leave you with this. How are you planting your own seeds of kindness today? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this look at such a wonderful fable has sparked some curiosity and inspiration in you. Until next time, keep learning and keep sharing.
Like, share and subscribe for more videos.